the appointments. Okay. We're going to start, we're going to backtrack a little bit. We're going to go first to distressed homeowners, and then we're going to go back to for sale by owners. I'm going to show you how you can get appointments from both of those lead sources every single week. In fact, some of you can get one appointment a day, even if you're part-time. Okay. Over the last couple years, 2 years, we had economic headwinds. And while this is perceived as something negative, it actually is a new lead source that you now have with people who were affected by financial distress. And they are now in the situation that we call in the industry distressed properties. And the most obvious lead source is a pre-foreclosure. Okay, those are homeowners who already received a notice of default. They are very much aware that this is a path they're on. There's no backtracking unless they suddenly come up with all that money to get out of it. But they're on a road to having to sell their home or losing their home. Okay. Here is the timeline that you should know about. They have about 60 to 180 days, depending on the state that you're in. We have 253 brand new pre-foreclosures. You have to think about it this way. You have, if you go, let's say, to the county records, you have 253 records of a name and an address. That's all you get from the county records. You don't get the phone number. So now your job would be to find out the phone number so you can reach out to them, unless you want to door knock 253 homes, and that is almost impossible because you have to do so many other things. So how can you reach out to 253 in a reasonable time and even beat everybody else? If you would do that on your own, it's, I mean, like this guy here, right? I mean, it's consuming, time consuming, it's exhausting, and it's expensive because your time is expensive. I'm going to show you now a way how you can reach out to them within 30 seconds of getting the data. And you don't even have to go to the county records to get the data. You simply log into Landvoice. You get your own Landvoice account. I recommend that every agent should have one. That's as important to me. It's as important as having access to the MLS. If you don't have access to Landvoice, it's like not having the MLS. It's very difficult to be an agent and be successful. Within 30 seconds, you will have all the contact information with phone numbers, up to 3 numbers per pre-foreclosure, and information about their home, all the square footage, bedrooms, bathrooms, everything, and so much more information about them, and even email addresses. I'm just gonna get this out really quick. We don't need this. So the question is, how many pre-foreclosures do you have in your top 2 counties? You think of that. You should know this number actually, but if you don't know it, I give you a chance now to find out. I give you a gift. We do a free lookup for you and check in Landvoice how many pre-foreclosures there are, because it is important before you start calling them to know what is the opportunity. So text your top 2 to 4 counties to Alex. Just put your name, your counties to 801-998-2423. And within 2 hours, Alex will look up the number of pre-foreclosures for the last 30 days and 90 days to let you know what your opportunity is for pre-foreclosures. Okay, I hope that is a good gift for you, because normally something like this costs money. So how does it work? If you say, I want to subscribe to my counties, I want to be notified every day of all the new pre-foreclosures with the phone numbers, you simply give us your top 2 to 4 counties. You pay the subscription fee, which is very low. And then you see this screen. On the left side, you see expired, for sale by owners, pre-foreclosures. We clicked on pre-foreclosure because that's what we're talking about right now. You can see if it's a notice of default, a notice of trustee sale. And the cool thing is you get it the second it's filed with a county, which is even before the pre-foreclosure gets that official notice in the mail. You have it before. And you find the name, the phone numbers. If it's green, it's not on the do not call registry. If the number is in red, it's on the national do not call registry. So that's another time saver for you because you don't have to do that yourself. Why is it important? Because even though you're not really selling anything, you're just offering services, you cannot, as a professional, call on somebody who's on the national do not call because you are a realtor and that's your final purpose, right? To put their home on the market. So don't call numbers in red, call them in green. And when you click on the filter, you can actually filter by time. You can go up back to 12 months to find all the pre-foreclosures that have come on the market in those counties. And then you can export that list, you can print it, you can do whatever you want with it. And every day you get the new data. Every morning by midnight, actually, we populate it in by 6, 7 in the morning, depending on where you are, you have the new data at your fingertips. That's what it looks like on your phone. I like it on the phone because a lot of you guys are on the road and mobile and you are not at the desktop or the laptop all the time. Also, the advantage on the phone is you can simply tap the number and it dials it for you, and you can cross it out. You can create a tag, a note, so it stays with that lead forever. So for those of you who are currently investing in a dialer, you don't even need to do that. This is almost as fast as a one-line dialer, and it's 100% compliant with the TCPA regulations. So that's how simple it is. Now you have the number. When you call before everybody else, you will find yourself, instead of a red ocean, in a blue ocean, which means you're doing something different than your competition. It's not fun to be in the red ocean. Call at the same time, like in the afternoon when you finally find the number and everybody else is calling too, including the investors. That's not fun. Get Landvoice, be the first one to call them and set that appointment. How accurate is the data? I'm not going to answer that for you. I'm going to let actually a real estate agent from Keller Williams share what she found.
We are absolutely crushing it on Landvoice. The pre-foreclosure data is spot on. Our team in less than 3 weeks has 17 listings. I highly recommend it. We're getting ready to go through a shift. A lot of us are already in a shifting market, and leveraging the pre-foreclosure data and getting back to things that worked 10 years ago in short sales has been super powerful for us. So highly recommend it.
So you heard it. The data is spot on, and you can get lots of listings if you do it the right way. If you do it the wrong way, you would come in with commission breath, and that's basically asking for the listing. Hey, I saw your house is going into pre-foreclosure or in foreclosure. Let me help you. I help people like you. That's my specialty, right? That gets you usually a click, and they hang up, or so take me off your list. Instead, there's a mindlessly simple script that works. And that script comes from Christina, the one you just heard on the testimonial. She said, that's how I get 17 listings actually transactions in a quarter. Here it is. Hi, my name is Christoph. I'm a real estate agent with Keller Williams. I know your home isn't for sale right now, but have you ever thought about selling? Or I'm calling everybody in my neighborhood right now because home prices are up. And I was just wondering, I'm an agent in your area. I was just wondering, if you were offered the right price for your home, would you be willing to sell? Guys, this script does not work always with a neighbor, a general neighbor, right? But if you know that that person is a pre-foreclosure, it works because they want to know the value of the home. That's the first thing they need to know to discuss the next step. Should we sell? What should we do? Is a way to modify our mortgage? They want to know the value of the home. And you're an expert. And if you offer them that opportunity to find out what the right price is, they will want to talk to you. So how much is pre-foreclosure? Like I told you earlier, it's not much at all. If you do it on your own, that's expensive. That is expensive because your hour should be worth a couple $100s, right? For only $40 a month, you don't need to do any research at all. You get all the data automatically in your Landvoice platform, or 400 a year, then you save 2 months. That's what I would recommend what you do. Okay. And I'll show you a little bit later where you can get it and what number you can call. Now, let's talk about distressed homeowners that are not yet in pre-foreclosure. That is almost like predicting the future. Okay. So who in your market is going to go into pre-foreclosure? Because you want to even beat the agents who are talking to pre-foreclosures. You want to talk to the homeowners a month or 2 months before they become a pre-foreclosure and everybody tries to reach them. Remember that movie, Back to the Future, where Biff finds this almanac of sports, and he actually takes it to the future or to the past, and he can predict what's going on, and he becomes a billionaire or millionaire. We have such a tool for you that you can have your own basically crystal ball that tells you what will happen in terms of pre-foreclosures in the next 30 days in your market. And I'm going to show you exactly what it is. This tool is only a couple months old. It's brand new, and you can be among the first people to use it. And this now captures the contact information of distressed homeowners who are not yet in foreclosure. They missed the first mortgage payment, the second, the third. Now they get a letter of demand from the bank. They miss a fourth mortgage payment. And all those people, we have the data for. We're an expert in getting the data that is not public data that you can get. And we can give it to you with names and addresses and everything about their home. And you can reach out to them before they even go into pre-foreclosure and form a relationship. This is what it looks like. You give us your top zip codes. This tool goes by zip codes, not by county. And those zip codes will be exclusive to you. That means if you get the distressed homeowners for your top zip codes, no other agent will get that from Landvoice. Okay? You will own those zip codes. And again, you get the name, the phone numbers, and so on, everything like before. But something is different here. You have a thermometer that tells you the level of distress. That is so cool. I love that. This homeowner right here, what's his name? Diana Prince. She is not yet in very much distress, probably missed 1 or 2 mortgage payments, maybe 3. But this person here, Luke Skywalker, he missed 4 or 5 mortgage payments, is in high distress, and most likely, if he doesn't pay up next month, he will get into pre-foreclosure. I want to call Luke right away and build a relationship. And I'm going to show you the script here in a second. But before we do that, let's do something for free for you again. We're going to tell you how many distressed homeowners you have in your particular zip codes. Text the top 4 to 6 zip codes to Alex. He's in the office right next to me, and I told him that he's going to get a lot of text messages. So text him to 801-998-2423, and he's going to do this for free for you. He's going to find out how many pre-foreclosures, how many distressed homeowners there are who will go into pre-foreclosure most likely in the next month. And that gives you a good idea of your area and what's going on, the level of distress. And you will have intelligent knowledge that nobody else has in the area. That is literally a crystal ball. It puts you ahead of everybody else. And then if you want the data, of course, you can subscribe to Landvoice and get it. And I'll show you in a second how much that costs. It's not much. What you get from Landvoice, if you want the data, you get 500 exclusive distressed property owner data. And you may say, no, I only want 10, or 20. Unfortunately, we cannot give you only 10 or 20 because it's too expensive for us to look that up. So we do it in batches of 500. Our data provider does not give smaller batches than that. You will get 500 exclusive distressed property owner data for the last 30 days. And out of those 500, you will find that you get several very motivated sellers. And that's going to propel your business forward like you have never done it before. It's going to be incredible. Our competition charges $4 a record, which is actually not much, to be honest, because I have seen some they charge $30 for a distressed homeowner. Landvoice will do something special for you. We give it to you for $2.50 a record. You don't even have to be a client at Landvoice. If you just want distressed and nothing else, $2.50 a record. You have to buy it in batches of 500. For all of you on this webinar, I give you an additional discount, only $2 per record. You can get it in no other way except through this webinar, get this additional discount. Okay. Make sure you text your zip codes. I give you the number again in a second. So you find out, first of all, how many you have. And if we have 500 for your area, this is worth it. You will be doing something different than anybody else. Okay. Now we switch gear a little bit. Go back to for sale by owners. I promised you that we would talk about how you get the data from them. First of all, my mindset is I studied psychology, right? So I try to use psychology to help me with my mindset. Instead of thinking of a for sale by owner as something difficult, rejection, and so on, I think it in the acronyms fastest source of business opportunity, FSBO. And that's what it is. There are many ways to grow your business, but the fastest way to do so is talking to people who already want to sell, like for sale by owners. Like Rich said earlier, 75% end up listing with an agent, so it's worth it to call them and to reach out to them, set appointments. Don't make the mistake like a lot of agents. They say, oh, I can do this myself. I can find them. I know how to do it. I go to Zillow. I find them all. And then I go drive around the neighborhood. I find those who are not on Zillow yet. And then I go to forsalebyowner.com. I find a couple there. And then I go to the local newspaper online. I find a couple there. I put everything in a cool spreadsheet and I check it every day against the MLS. Guys, I get breathless just thinking about that. That's a job within a job. There's a much easier way. Simply give us your top 2 to 4 counties, and we will give you all the for sale by owners every single day by midnight. We can let you know how many you have actually in the top 2 to 4 counties. Simply text Alex, text him FSBO, your name, and 801-998-2423, and he will let you know for free how many for sale by owners you have there in the last 30 days, 90 days, even in the last year. So you know if that is a viable lead source for you. And I bet you it is. There will be hundreds. So this is what it looks like. When you click on for sale by owner, you have the data with the phone numbers, everything scrubbed against the do not call. You can sort by price, by bedrooms, bathrooms, all of those kind of things. We find the email addresses oftentimes, sometimes the social media profiles. My favorite is, of course, the phone number. And when you click on the record, you even find the ad. And that is so cool to have the ad in front of you when you call. That makes you different than everybody else, because if they talk about the home, you say, yeah, I read that in the ad, and you actually show that you did your research and it didn't even take you much time. Now we're going to switch gear again, and I'm going to talk really quickly about expireds. We didn't put that in the title, but I think it's important. Expireds are another motivated seller, right? 78% of them list with the first agent who calls. And if you just think of that, that is now you have motivated sellers like for sale by owners, motivated sellers like expireds. They're frustrated with the previous agent. They're eager to find a better agent and make a switch. And if you call before everybody else, you will get the chance because most of them list with the first agent who calls. And instead of going to the MLS, finding them all, finding the phone numbers, finding the email addresses, you just get it automatically at Landvoice every day. We populate the data into your into your Landvoice platform by 7 to 8 o'clock in the morning every day. And you see all the information like in all the other tools that I just showed you. You can even create tags and notes. And that makes you the first agent to call expires. And you will get listings from that. We will give you the scripts as well. We also include a geographic farming tool for you, which we just updated. It's so important to do that because if you circle prospect around expires, for sale by owners, pre-foreclosures, and you get a listing, and you let the neighbors know what you just did, we call this actually listings have babies. You will get additional listings out of the neighborhood. because they're usually similar homes like the other homes, and say, oh, if that guy is sold, maybe I should sell as well. Or my, folks want to move into the neighborhood. I would love to have them close by. And that's why you should always talk to neighbors. It's so much easier than calling people randomly. Neighborhood search tool looks like this. This is brand new. Actually, we now include pictures of every home. And you simply select an area where you circle prospect, maybe right around your listing, 500 homes I would recommend. And then you get their phone numbers and the list. And you can do up to 3,000 records a month. And you can search one address or many and export that list and start reaching out to them. My recommendation is, like I said earlier, start with 500 and find an area that has a 6% turnover rate. You have a much better chance of success in a high turnover rate neighborhood than in a neighborhood where nobody ever sells. So what are you getting from Landvoice? What is it that Rich and I are proposing to you? First of all, we want you to have the scripts. Go to landvoice.com/free downloads. You get a whole host of resources for free. Okay, that's a no-brainer. You get an ebook, 10 listings in 7 days, which I wrote. You're gonna love that. It tells you specifically how to work with for sale by owners. Then you get expired scripts, pre-foreclosure scripts, some videos, neighborhood search scripts, objection handlers, all for free. landvoice.com/free downloads. There's also a QR code. Second, we want you to have access to all the data without just saying, oh, I'm just going to pick one and see how it works. If you have more than one lead source, you have much better chance of success. Because on some days, you don't have many for sale by owners, and you say, maybe today it's a time to call expires. You also get FSBOs, expires, pre-foreclosures, and neighborhood search all in one bundle. We call that actually the Pro bundle. And our competition charges, you can see right here for FSBOs, expires, pre-foreclosures, neighborhood search, $3,590. The lowest one is $2,830, and Landvoice is only $1,497 a year. Think about this. How many listings do you need to get to pay off the $1,497? And you're right, it pays off with the very first listing, and we want you to have 10 listings a month. Okay, that's over 100 listings a year, and that's what you can get. I just skipped the testimonial. Was a young buck, 18 years old, just got his license, and he got 3 transactions in his first month just from expireds from Landvoice, $30,000 in commissions. Okay, so it happens all the time. That's actually not very unusual. Instead of paying $14.97, I'm gonna give you a deal at this webinar. So whether you watch this live or in a recording, we're gonna give you the chance to get an additional discount. But you do need to text the word PRO to 801-998-2423 to Alex to qualify for the flash sale. How much discount is a flash sale? It's huge. We take another $500 off. You don't find that at our website. You don't find it at Black Friday or Christmas or anything like that. This is for this webinar. That's the best deal ever. That's less than $3 a day, guys. The question shouldn't be, can I afford this? It's almost like, can I afford not to do this? This is incredible. Our average client gets about 2 to 3 transactions every single month, just from that. So for the flash sale, we also double the counties for you. Normally we include 2 counties. Today you get 4 counties, which is normally $200 extra, and you still pay only $997 a year now instead of $1697 a year. Text PRO to Alex, 801-998-2423. We limit it, however, to the first 8. So that the double the counties is to 8. The 997 is for everybody who calls during this webinar or listening to a recording. Okay, so that is my presentation, Rich. I hope that was helpful.